Alan, I heard the news. You don't have to pay a buyer side commission anymore. Is that true?
Well, today from the No BS Bar, this is Alan and Betsy. We're going to discuss that topic. Play together, work together.
So join us.
Let's have a great time. What was that question again, Betsy?
The sellers have to pay buy side commission.
Well, technically, they've never had to pay it. It's always been a negotiable item. But we all know that most real estate agents had kind of enforced this de facto rule that if you don't, you won't sell your house. And, sometimes that's true because of the way the market conditions are. But sometimes it has been beneficial to make that negotiable. In fact, we learned long ago, and a couple of years ago, started looking at it as, why does that agent on the other side who doesn't have as much experience as I do, or doesn't have the team or the marketing or the things we're putting in, and we made a change to where often we earned more on the listing side than the other side did. And we did that because we felt that transparency of offering it that way was the best in that situation. It allowed us to provide the absolute best service for our clients.
Right. And we have a full team, and we were earning more.
Spending more and earning more and getting our clients more money on the sell side. And we felt that had value. So we've been doing that. Well, what the lawsuit has done has forced a larger transparency in this. And so moving forward, the MLS is telling you that, hey, no longer as a seller can you promote what you're offering.
Correct.
Now, does that mean you're not going to offer anything? I don't think so. In fact, depending on the market conditions, and every location is different. In fact, in our market, every neighborhood can even be different on what the dynamics are, as what the demand is for the houses, and whether your house is priced right still comes down to the most important thing. And who your agent is marketing it is the most important thing. Many of these are more important, but it does matter whether the seller is willing to offer compensation to the buy side or not.
Absolutely.
So, in today's market, what it means is that the buyer actually has to set up with their agent before they start looking at houses, before they see that very first house, what the compensation structure is going to be. And they can't just say, hey, we'll take whatever the seller offers. Because if that were the case and I knew that was their situation, we wouldn't be offering anything as the seller.
Right.
However, most of the time, they have a buyer agency agreement or a buyer representation agreement in place that says, I'm going to be paid 1%, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%. It can be anything. It can be a flat fee, $1,000, $5,000, $20,000. So that representation agreement is actually what the buyer is saying, I see this value in having my agent.
Correct.
Now, quite often, especially in our market with so many VA buyers, the buyer actually can't pay that or doesn't have the funds to pay that amount. So guess where they're going to be looking for it?
From the seller.
From the seller. So the seller has to know that if they don't offer that, they could be eliminating a certain buyer pool on their house.
Correct. That's going to be detrimental to the VA buyers, which is a very large pool
in our market. So quite often, I think we're going to see the sellers are still offering a fee, but they may not be offering a fixed fee up front. I think what we're going to see is the sellers are going to say, hey, it's negotiable. If it's something you want to ask for it in the contract. And when it comes in, this is when you need on your side the best negotiator you can find.
That is going to be very, very important on who your agent is, how good they are, how experienced they are, all of the above.
In fact, we have a core group of highly experienced agents in our company because we don't have part-time agents and we don't have new agents. And you know what we're doing every week? We have negotiation trading going on because that is the most important skill set, I believe, moving into the future for a professional agent to have.
Absolutely.
So, back to the question. Does the seller still have to pay a buyer agency commission? No, they've never had to. Today, I think we're going to see sometimes where they don't, but we're still going to see, at least for a little while, that's going to be important for them to pay.
Yeah, especially until we figure out everything with whether the mortgages can be financed in with, especially with the VA.
Right.
The VA is going to be the detriment of whether, how we can figure that out. I mean,
Right.
that's detrimental to our economy here.
Right.
Especially.
So there is legislation being proposed and put forth for all the different types of mortgages. Some mortgages have already made it clear that, yes, the seller's always paid it, and that's good, and they can do that. But moving into the future, there is going to need to be legislative change, and I think everybody's working to try to get that to happen.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, the seller does not have to pay. It is totally negotiable. Coming sometime in the end of the summer, it's not going to be visible in the computer and the MLS on what they're paying. It's going to just, the field's going to disappear. But just so you know, talk to a professional agent. They'll know how to handle it.
Stop listening to the media because they are wrong. We have learned that we can't trust the media.
The headlines were 100% off on this situation. So, till we talk next time,
From the No BS Bar.
see you soon.